It's been said that good fences make good neighbors, but in some cases, that fence can actually make relations worse, especially with a neighbor like this. Behind me is the home of the infamous Seward Park strangler. Sally Golightly says her neighbor was always a nice woman who kept mostly to herself. She never expected she was living next to the notorious Dina Devine.
Yeah, she was always really friendly until it came to her morning glory. She just loved the way it looked. She let it run wild all over her fence. It was strangling my plants.
Bindweed, also known as morning glory or creeping jenny, is an invasive vine originally from Europe and Asia. Once established, it is nearly impossible to get rid of. It outcompetes native plant species and can reduce plant yields. It forms an extensive root system, often climbing fences or plants themselves, forming dense, tangled mats. Gardening's Most Wanted was able to get an exclusive interview with Dina Devine. It's the first she's granted reporters since the news of her crime first surfaced. Miss Devine, do you know what bindweed is capable of?
Well, but it's so pretty with these little white flowers. How could it be so bad?
I must have told her 1,000 times, if you aren't persistent, they're extremely difficult to get rid of. If she really likes the flowers, she could have planted true morning glory, which is a native to the US, or, green beans, which also have a lovely flower.
Bindweed grows by underground stem and creeps on the surface of the soil, as well as climbing whatever it encounters. Some of the underground stems can go 20 feet deep into the soil, but most of the mass of the plant is in the top 2 feet of the soil. If the area that is infested is open ground, apply sheet mulch, cardboard, and wood chips to 4-inch depth, and give it a few months to let the underground stems come up to the surface of the soil. Then, using a spading fork, loosen all the soil, starting from one edge, and pull the stems out, working each section as you go to be as thorough as possible. Once all the material you find is removed, mulch thickly again. This might have to be repeated next growing season. You can do this a couple of times over the course of a growing season too. If the bindweed is entangled in other plants, you need to unwind it from your plants, but be careful. Pulling and tugging can damage your good plants that you are trying to save. Loosen as much of the area as you can with a spading fork and remove as much as you can to 2 feet depth. Then be persistent and keep pulling when you see it. Do not let it flower. Seeds can lay dormant in the soil for up to 20 years. You can get rid of it if you keep after it. You can also replant the area to shade the ground, as bindweed does not grow as robustly in the shade. Good fences, good neighbors, they say, but you'll need more than that if you're living next door to a criminal the caliber of the contemptible Dina Devine, aka the Seward Park Strangler. I'm Jessica Matlock, and this has been another episode of Gardening's Most Wanted.